Welcome everyone to another interview with one of our fun traders. Today we are hosting Salahdeen, and he is a former student of the CEO. So I'm very excited to have this interview with him today. Hi Salahdeen, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. So
You're
let's
welcome.
start by introducing yourself a little bit so that the audience knows who you are.
Mhm. Basically, my name is Salahdeen. I'm from Iraq, but I reside in Jordan, and I've been trading gold since 2018. I was a physical gold trader, and now I'm both. I trade gold physically and on Forex. And I recently got into the prop firm scene since March 2024.
That's interesting because I know how much payout that you got, so I'm gonna come to that. But it's
Uh,
very interesting that you did all this in just a few months. I think that is very impressive. But before that, let's start learning about your journey. How did trading start for you? How did you got interested in this area?
Basically, I was always interested in finding, new ways of making money online. And I was checking out videos and I got in a pyramid scheme. They basically scammed me, and that's how I started trading. It was an academy and all these things, it was popular back then, like 5 years ago. And then I got more in depth into trading because of Khalid. Um, he was one of my clients for a startup that I had in 2020, and he was on Instagram. His username was AmChefX and Forecasters. That's where he started, and I was really interested into learning more and more because he was always posting constantly, and everything he used to say has happened since 2020 till this day. Okay, he used to say gold's gonna go above 2000 by the end of this year. Nobody believes that and all that, and here we are. We're at 2400 right now. So Khaled, heads up, brother.
It's very interesting. And I think this is the first time that we're hosting one of his students. And considering your paths, I
Mhm.
think he was like one hell of a good teacher. And you are obviously one hell of a good student because it's very juicy.
I
So
appreciate it.
yeah, it is actually. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, how many years has it been since you actually started trading? Because, and how many years did it take you to become actually profitable in it?
Basically, I've been trading for 6 years, as I said earlier. But I've been profitable and constant
Yeah.
for, let's say, 4 years. Ever since 2020, ever since I met Khaled, everything changed. The whole story changed for me.
Okay, I can understand that. Because like sometimes it takes a person 1 year, sometimes 3 years, sometimes 5 years. So I needed to ask that just to give out a realistic approach to other
Mhm,
traders out there, so that they can actually know what to expect in a real trader's journey, right?
mhm.
So yeah, what do you think was the most difficult thing in trading for you, and how did you actually overcome that?
Honestly, it's psychology. Psychology is the main key into trading because if you're able to control your emotions yourself, that's how you know that you could be profitable. You don't have unrealistic dreams saying, "Oh, my trade, my setup is gonna go up 1 to 10 out of nowhere based on nothing." So you need to be realistic, first of all. You need to have good psychology and self-control, and consistency is the key. You could easily compound your profits, easily, but without being greed. And we're all humans at the end of the day, and we're all greedy. I'm a greedy person, but I tend to control myself and my emotions, and that's what gives you success in trading.
That is an amazing approach, actually. I think the mental part of trading is the part where majority of the traders feel hard to resonate with, right? It
Hmm.
takes a lot of time to learn actually how to regulate the emotions, or, like everybody's strategy is different, and that's fine. Like, and
100%.
everybody actually can make money with any technical tool that they use because it's all
Yeah.
about statistics. But without the right mentality, it's very hard for a person to actually keep going consistently. So that's why, like, it prevents them to take out the edge of their system and actually become profitable. Because after that, like, they jump from strategy to strategy, and it takes a lot of time. But with the right
Yeah.
mentality, I think it's a shorter process, and for you as well. Okay,
Hmm.
let's show people your path because, like you said, you have only entered the prop firm industry in March, right? So
Yeah.
I think this is very interesting because I can see your first payout with Fun Invest, which is like
Hmm.
$900. It's good. It's a nice, decent amount. But after that,
That was with a 5K count.
yeah, that was with a 5K account. And after
Yeah.
that, it's 4K. This is amazing. There's a lot of difference between, and then 3K, and then 4K again, like close to 5K, 3K again. And as we can see here, there is a consistency. There's a pattern here. And like in, I think, around after May and around June, you got over 5K. And then
Hmm.
again, like the same. So I was thinking, there's a pattern here, and you're going by, like you said, cumulatively, right? So how
Hmm.
did this happen for you? You started with a 5K. What made you go with 100K after that? What made you scale up, and how did you feel ready to do that?
Honestly, as I said, I've been trading for 6 years, but I was new into the prop firm industry, and I didn't know how it works, and I did not even believe that it's legit. But since this firm was made by my mentor, I got encouraged to try it out and give it a shot. And I decided to start with a 5K account, and I said I could buy the 100K account directly, but I want to try out the 5K account and make profit from it. And then the profit that I make from the 5K account, I'll get a 100K account and then just scale up and get more accounts. And that's what I did. With the 5K account, as you could see, I made a payout of over
900.
$900.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really good. And one key factor to being consistent and actually being able to secure your payouts, never trade 3 days before your payout, before you could request your payout. Call it a day, leave the office, and do not trade. If you reached a good amount that you're pleased with, just leave it, withdraw your money, and then just start over all over again. Easy as that.
I think that's a good advice because after that, like emotions come in, you want to
Yeah.
make a more amount of payout, and then you lose the first trade, and then you try to
Mhm.
make it back, and then it gets frustrating after that, and everything is gone. The payout
It
amount is
happened
gone.
with me once. Happened
It
with me
happened with me
once.
twice, so
Yeah.
I can definitely understand that.
30 minutes before requesting a payout. Literally, 30 minutes before requesting a payout, I lost 4K in profit.
Oh,
4K in profit because I wasn't feeling well during that week. So emotionally, I wasn't good, you know? So my psychology was really, really bad. And hence why I'm telling you, psychology is one of the most important factors in trading. And you need to maintain a good psychology. You need to hold yourself and your emotions, and you're set. 100% set.
it is actually. And you have been with Funding Pips for some time now. It's been months, and
Mhm.
you withdrew 10 payouts, right?
Mhm.
It's amazing. So, how would you describe your experience with funding pips? Like, how was the payout process, and did everything go smoothly with you? It's very interesting to me because, you know, you're withdrawing consistent payouts with
Mhm.
larger amounts, and it's going even larger day by day. So, I'm really curious about your journey here. How would you describe it?
Basically, Funding Pips is my number one prop firm, and it's the best out there. It's actually changing the whole industry. But you know how it is on social media, you always have people that envy you, people that hate you and just, try to spread misinformation. So Funding Pips actually tries to help you out in every way possible. When they restricted accounts for traders, it was to help traders, maintain their profits, have a good strategy, have consistency, and that's it. When you got restricted, you're going to be able to maintain good psychology because they won't allow you to lose more than 1% per day, which is going to secure your account. And there is no way on earth for you to blow the account that way. And if you consistently lose 1% for 10 days in a row, then you're not a trader. There is something wrong. So basically, the restrictions that everybody was complaining about are actually something good for the traders. And I believe that it helps them out if they know how to utilize it. And other than the restrictions, funding pips actually pay out fast. Uh, they give you all the options. You could withdraw weekly, biweekly, and monthly with different percentages, of course, but no other firm provides that.
Yeah.
So you could just trade the way you want. You want to withdraw once a month, you get 100% of your profits. You want to withdraw weekly, you get 60%, which is still fair because you're receiving your money weekly.
Yeah.
And most traders, good, profitable traders across all platforms tend out to request payouts biweekly
Yeah.
because you're going to be able to actually make good profits and secure them. You're not going to rush yourself to just, oh, I just withdrew money. I want to request another payout, so I need to make that much money today and tomorrow. And that ends up in blowing your account because you're going to over leverage. And that's really, really wrong.
Exactly.
And everything I'm telling you right now comes from experience, things that I've went through because I'm just a normal human being, just like you. I went through big, big losses on my live accounts. And just to mention, one of the worst trading years of my life was 2022 when gold dropped to 1600s. I lost over $200,000 on my live account. And honestly, that woke me up.
When
That
you say live
made,
account, you mean your personal equity, right?
yeah,
Just
my
to be
personal
clear for
equity.
the audience, yeah. It is
Yeah,
the pain. I can't imagine the
yeah.
pain.
And all of that, it was beyond 200,000. Okay. The amount that I lost to be specific was $220,000 that I built from $3,000 over the years.
Yeah,
From $3,000.
it's amazing.
So you need to maintain good psychology in order to become a profitable trader. That's the number one rule, in my opinion, honestly.
It is actually an amazing journey. And
Mhm,
I have to tell you, I have like so much respect for people who also traded their own personal equity because they understand the game. They understand how the market, the real market, is supposed to be in terms of spreads, in terms of slippage, in terms of losing a lot of money, in terms of systems going down, and everything
mhm.
can actually go wrong.
Yeah,
So, and
100%.
the pain of losing your personal equity and losing an account, a challenge, is definitely not the same. It hurts
Yeah,
more to lose personal equity. So,
of
for
course.
me, these prop firms actually change a lot of lives because anyone who haven't traded their own equity and who haven't lost a lot of money from their own equity doesn't know the pain of losing that much money. So losing an account, losing an evaluation, losing a funded account, I think it's all bearable and I think it's all fixable. Like, because you still have money on the side. Like, I'm like, preferably you should
Hmm.
be having money on the side, you know, like you shouldn't put everything in the challenges, of course. Like, you still need a life to take care of. So I
Hmm.
definitely relate to that, and thank you for saying that, actually.
You're
So
welcome.
you have been you withdrew over for 40k from funding pip. So
Hmm.
now I'm really curious about how you approach the market. So can you please share your trading view screen with us and show us a few trades so that we can actually see how you see the charts?
Sure thing.
Like, what is it that you do? I'm like very curious.
So basically, I'm not gonna be able to go in depth on my strategies,
Of course.
but um, we could say my one of my main focuses on trading or the way I trade is very simple. The simplest way you could imagine. Support and resistance, and going with the trend in the longer time frames. And this is one of the things that I've learned from the boss, the CEO himself, Khalid. Um, you don't need to overcomplicate trading. Basically, you could trade in the most complex and hard way possible, or you could trade in the easiest way possible.
Yeah.
You are the master of your own ship. You could trade in any strategy. There are plenty of strategies. Okay. Support and resistance is very basic, very simple, does not always work if you do not actually know how to trade it.
Yep.
Okay? It is simple, but it's not as simple as I'm making it seem. So, you obviously need higher time frames, but you also watch and look into the markets on the lower time frames.
So
But
can you
go
please
ahead.
share your screen first so that we can actually see like
Oh,
live
it's
what you're
you're not
doing on
seeing
your
it?
chart?
Okay. I thought I was sharing it.
It's fine, don't worry.
It's okay. There we go. All right. Could you see
Okay.
my screen?
Okay, so
There.
yes.
Hmm. So let me show you this. Whoever was awake yesterday during market open for the week saw how gold pumped during the market open from
Yep.
400 until 412. And that's due to the geopolitical reasons, the things that are happening in the Middle East, the elections, United States elections, and all that played a role in that. Um, so after the pump that happened yesterday, we had a slight resistance around 2,412, and it could not pass that area last night at all. And I executed a trade from there. My TP was 401. It hit TP while I was asleep, which sucks honestly, but it's good. No complaints because it dropped way beyond my TP. And as you can see, this is the trade that I'm in currently right now. Um, ready, almost hit my TP1. Um, and my TP2 is 2420. And as you could see, this is a support area right here.
Yep.
And this is a resistance area over here. And simple as that. I'm currently in this trade.
So you basically trade support and resistance. But
Hmm.
obviously, after so many years of trading, you actually have some kind of edge with support
Hmm.
and with resistance to
Hmm.
trade. And what about the time frame of your choosing? Obviously, you examine the price on
Hmm.
higher time frames, but what about the actual confirmation while you enter a trade? So like which time frame do you actually take the confirmation? And I have to ask you this: how much percent, how many like how much percentage you would risk of your balance on like on an evaluation or in a funded account, for example?
hmm Basically, I go with the higher time frames at the beginning because I need to see the bigger picture and
Yeah.
what's happening on the market. Um, the least that you could see is the 15 minutes, and then you check the hourly, and then you check the 4 hours, okay,
Yeah.
and the daily at the end. But one of my personal, bias or the way for me to know the direction. Basically, other than support and resistance, I use Elliott waves, and uh, I tend to check where the market closed the previous day and the previous 4 hours because I trade during Asia session and until late London. I do
Hmm.
not get anywhere near New York or trading news, just
Yeah.
to be straight right here. I do not trade news. I do not trade New York. Even though we have the most liquidity and volume during New York, but honestly, it just does not work out with me or with my strategy because um, I see that the market is very simple and less manipulation from Asia until late London session.
Yeah.
But New York comes in, you get news, you get lots of manipulation, and you basically are just risking a lot for nothing. It works out with a lot of people. Most traders worldwide trade New York, and yeah, it
So
just does not work out for me personally.
by saying that you don't trade the New York session, do you mean
Mhm.
you don't enter a trade? Or do you mean if I have an existing trade, I will also close that existing trade during New York session?
So I do not enter a trade during New York session
Okay.
under any circumstance,
Okay. Okay.
no matter what happens, what the opportunity is. But I have some swings on my live account,
Yeah.
which are swings basically. So if I'm already in really good profits and my entry is at least 400, 500 pips away, I'm staying in my trade. Other than that, I'm not getting in a trade or holding a trade doing during New York
Okay. So
at
all of your
all.
profits are mostly made during Asia and London and
Hmm.
the continuation. Okay. Get it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting actually, because what you said about like if I'm not in a profit of like let's say 100 pips, 100 points, I would
Hmm.
close the trade. So this tells me that you have examined the price during live movement in the real
Hmm.
market, right? And then
Yeah.
you have actually seen some patterns, and now
Hmm.
you're actually treating the market the same way you would treat your personal account, even if it's a challenge, even if it's a funded account. So
Yeah.
I I think I couldn't catch how many percent you risk per trade.
Oh, I tend to go for 1% mostly,
Hmm.
1%, or if my trade is very, very big and I have at least 70% win in that trade, I'm going in for 1.5%,
I
nothing more than
understand
that.
that. I
I would
understand
I
that.
wouldn't go for more than that at all, honestly.
It's very reasonable. So, and
Yeah.
another question, and I think that's important because a lot of traders actually say that they risk like 1%. Sometimes they say that I risk like 0.5% on a funded account.
Mhm.
But that can, like, sometimes that's not the whole case. Like sometimes they feel like the emotions take over and then they risk more, etc. And it changes, time to time.
Mhm.
So you risk like 1% in a trade, and then let's say that in that day that trade got stopped out. Would you take another trade? Do you have some set of rules that prevent you from taking more trades that you're supposed to take?
So we could say 75% of the time, I
Yeah.
just stop and call it a day. But the less the left, honestly, I'm a human being, and
Yeah, obviously.
sometimes if my setup is an A plus setup, I would just go in again
Yeah.
because I believe in my setup, and that's the most important case. You need to believe in your own work and not believe in a signal provider or somebody that you do not know. You don't know how they're working, how they're making their trades, based on what are they taking these trades. So if it's your own setup and you know what you're doing, you could give it another shot with less risk,
Yeah.
much less risk. So
I think
yeah,
it
that's
makes
how
sense.
I work.
I think it makes sense because it brings me to another point actually.
Hmm.
So on the screen right now, we can see a screenshot. And this
Yeah.
screenshot is from your account. So let's see that. Let's see how much balance that was left in your account.
Hmm.
There's only like $56 left in your account. And then I can see that amount went
Hmm.
up
Yeah.
$30, right? How did this exactly happen? You had $50 to breach an account to
Hmm.
maximum loss limit, by the way, not even daily,
Hmm.
maximum loss limit. And then from $50, how did you scale up again? How did this actually happen? Like, this must be the biggest comeback of all times.
Yeah, it is. And it's in fact the biggest comeback on funding pips. I had to note out. Yeah, so basically, I had I took two trades that were zero drawdown, A plus setups, and I just jumped in with one lot and I scaled up. I got 100 pips, got out. My account was back to 91. And then I got another 1%. And from that, I was able to revive my account. Simple as that. A
Simple
lot of
as that.
people,
It's very easy.
a lot of people have been messaging me regarding that and how I've made that comeback and how they could do the same thing. You could simply take out an A plus setup. Okay. Do
That's
not do what I did. Do not go in one lot because I was 110% sure of what I was doing.
yeah.
Okay. You could go in with less less lot size and step by step you could compound your profits and then come out of drawdown and eventually request payouts after fixing that account. Just like what I did. Simple as that.
Still, it's still not easy to actually make a comeback like that because imagine like you took one lot is not a lot of amount considering the account size, but you
Mhm.
were indeed in a drawdown which like your account size at that time was like only 90K, right? And
Yeah.
indeed that is a large amount. So like what I think is that like you were only able to go one lot because you were thinking of I don't know, like spread at that time and the fee,
Mhm.
and like sometimes like it can just move right up against you the moment you enter a trade. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand that because a lot of people in front of the screen, or I don't know, there's some algorithm or whatever people call it, like it can retrace back at any time. But like, do you think there was also a little luck in that situation in terms
Certainly.
of, yeah, because the price never moved against you at that point?
Mhm.
Because even just like one
One
pip, which is
pip.
like it's just, yeah, $100, right? 10, like
Yeah.
10 points on
Yeah.
one lot, which is like one pip, it's $100, and then the account
Yep.
boom. But it didn't happen, not
It did
even
not
like 10
happen.
points. How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an A plus setup and it was directly at the tap of a liquidity pool.
Yeah.
The second it tapped it, rejected, and then boom, it just rocketed directly.
Amazing. It's amazing.
So that is insane, and it's one of the biggest comebacks I've made during my journey with funding pips and the prop firm industry, to be exact.
I love that. I love that comeback because it's not very easy. 62,
Yeah,
66. Sorry. I think I'm remembering wrong. $56
yeah,
left. And
yeah,
then like it went up oh 10K. It's crazy actually. So,
yeah.
my last question to you
Mhm,
is the one that I love the most to ask actually,
mhm.
because there's always a lesson there. As a successful trader, what advice would you give to other traders out there?
Ah,
Is
honestly,
that a hard question?
it is.
That
It
was
is
a
because
lot of sight. Yeah.
I have a lot of advices to give, but
Yeah. Let's hear them.
as I said earlier, they should control their emotions because before anything, regardless of how talented you are, how good you analyze, how good you could read the market, without good psychology, you will not become profitable. And I went through really, really bad weeks just because I had, problems outside of the trading world. So when you're going through that, stay away from the charts. Simple as that, because you're either going to end up blowing an account or losing your profit or being in massive drawdown. You're not emotionally stable. So I just advise you to stay away from the markets if that's the case. Other than that, try to compound your profits. Um, Take it easy and slow because you're not gonna wake up and to find yourself in a Lamborghini or something, you're gonna work yourself towards it. You're gonna move step by step, and that's how you know that you're a good trader. When you're going up the ladder slowly, not just jumping the steps and that's it, reaching the top, and then next day you're gone. All your profits are gone and your accounts are gone.
Yeah.
That's one of the most important things to take in mind. Other than that, um, I guess nothing. Just take in your own calls, believe in your intuition and what your brain is telling you. Do not listen to signal providers, people on social media, because they won't help you. I promise you.
Yeah.
Just learn, put in the hard work, and you'll make it.
Yeah. That's
Mhm,
an amazing advice, actually, because a lot of traders that we hosted here have said the same things over and over again. And I think there's a lesson there. There's a
mhm,
lesson that we should be careful about our psychology. There's a lesson that we should be more inclined to take successful traders' advices if they keep telling the same thing over and over again, because that tells me that there's an experience speaking out there. If they're all saying the same thing statistically, I might trust that information. So thank you for
You're welcome.
all the information that you've provided in this interview. I really enjoyed it. I really
Same here.
enjoyed meeting you with the biggest comebacker of funding pips.
My
This was
pleasure.
Yeah, this was a king move actually. So congratulations on that, and
Thank you so
congratulations
much.
on all of your payouts. 40K, over 40K in just a few months. Only started a proper journey in March. This is an incredible journey. So thank you, Salahdeen, for joining in us today.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate you, and I
You
hope you
are
have a blessed day.
You too, and you are very much welcome. I really enjoyed meeting you. And for everyone who's watching us right now, I'll see you guys on the next one.
Alrighty. Have a good one.